in Podcast Detroit, recording live. Prepare yourself for a hoppy drive. If you're chilling at home, pop that growler and just kick back for the next 2 hours. It's the end of the week, so here's to the weekend. It's Better on Draft with Rob, Matt, Nick, and Ken.
And we are live, episode 160 of the Better on Draft podcast. My name is Ken. It is the final show of the year.
That makes me sad. Not really.
I mean, we're going to be back next week.
I know we'll be back here next week.
There's nothing that changes other than us writing 1-8 at the end of all of our dates and then crossing it out and saying 1-9 because we messed up.
Have you ever had that problem in the first month or two of the year where when you date something and you always put 1-8? Why do I sound loud?
I can't remember the last time I dated something that wasn't automatic because it was computer generated. I'm just being honest.
I guess I can't really say that.
Well, Nick, how are you?
Not bad. Not bad. Could have spared the trip to Discount Tire today, but whatever.
Well, you drive on Mound a lot, so that happens.
Well, Mound's actually not that bad. That's the thing.
Well, what are you drinking to drink away your sorrows of Discount Tire?
Yeah, right. Well, I got we finally cracked open the quadruple barrel Big Bad Baptist from last week. This year's
I got myself a little glass.
Super smooth, it seems. And then I got the Kitty Vitty Brewery from St. John's, Newfoundland, their Iceberg.
Okay.
Yeah. With a crazy blue bottle.
So we're in 2 countries right now.
Yeah, we're in
I think we're going to be traveling around a little bit more. Yeah. What do you think of the Newfie beer?
I've had this before. This is my 3rd or 4th time having it. Crushable. You can have multiple of these in a sitting. Very sessionable. Coworker who has property up in St. John's brought some across through airport and was packing his luggage and brought this over and brought a whole cake, like a 6 or 12 of it for me. So,
all right,
Hal, if you're listening, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Hal. Rob, what's going on?
Hey, doing all right. You?
I'm doing great. Doing great. What are you drinking over there?
I'm drinking some high quality H2O because I basically just spent the last few hours hanging out with the Bruise Brothers.
Oh no!
While they were doing their annual share, so it was an experience. For the 2nd year in a row, it was an absolute experience, and just the beers that were just coming out on the table were just ridiculous. I mean, it was everything from Bottle Logic to a honey mead with mango and ghost peppers to a stout with coffee and maple syrup. One of the guys broke out a Heart of Darkness from Schramm's.
Wow.
Foster the Banana.
I seem to remember this last year, and you were just you were buzzing pretty good when you got here.
It's so damn true.
Because I think it was the same night. It was on a Friday.
Yeah, it was on a Friday.
You came in right before the show, and you were like, "Oh gosh."
No, exactly.
Those Bruise Brothers, man. I don't know how they do it, but
everything they just kept breaking out, and then they broke out the one thing I wanted to get when I tried to go to Wolverine last week.
Yeah,
was the Mexican Hot Chocolate Massacre, which is an absolutely amazing beer, and Sasha, one of the Bruce sisters, she brought that bottle, and that shit was amazing. And then there was a Westbrook barley wine, which was awesome as well. So I absolutely love barley wine. So definitely a huge shout out to the Bruise Brothers. We did a beer elephant style gift giving. As gifts were being passed around, and I ended up walking away with a double dunk from Prairie Ales, which is a really, really good beer. If you can ever find an imperial stout that is brewed with Oreos, grab that without a doubt.
So I'm drinking the Big Bad Baptist.
You got the quad.
The quad. Yep. Pretty good right now. I'm celebrating a little bit. So as a lot of you know, because I mention it nearly every show, because when you're on keto, you have to tell everyone you're on keto.
Yes.
Just like CrossFit.
Just like CrossFit or veganism.
Right.
You have to tell.
Although I do feel like people that never mind, we're not going to get
So it was funny yesterday. I actually went to a bar. Well, I was working at a bar, and I was like, all right, I need bacon, egg, and cheeseburger.
Sure.
No ketchup, no onion, no tomato, no bun.
Plain Jane.
And it comes with a bun, and I say, oh, there's a bun here. I need you to remake the whole burger. And so as they start taking it away, I'm like, I'm just kidding.
You're going to be that guy, aren't you?
I mean, it's not like you get secondhand carbs or anything like that.
If a scientist actually discovers that that's actually such a thing.
Secondhand carbs.
Yeah, I'm just going to quit life and just say, fuck the diet.
For the year, I am officially down 53 pounds.
That is awesome.
So it's a good start.
Right.
I've got a lot.
How many months were you on it?
So I've been on keto for 4 months.
4 months, 53 pounds.
Well, 43 pounds.
43 pounds.
Yes. Yes, 43 pounds.
But you were down 53 total
53
from
for
the
the
start
year.
of the year.
So when you saw me at New Year's last year,
Yep.
I weighed 360. I'm down to 307. So
That's awesome. Man.
I wasn't going to hit my 300. I've missed every single weight loss goal I've ever had, but I've never gained weight. Since I've dieted, so I'm like, it's a win. It's a win. That's all I care about.
It is a win.
Yeah, it is a win. That is
It's awesome.
Now, we do have some guests in studio today. We do have somebody already happy that you're on the show. Renee Collith Thomas says loves the Nerds with Alcohol. So I don't know if you know who Renee is.
Yeah, that would be my wife.
That would be his wife. Yeah.
So
That's
I hope
an easy one, right?
I hope you know
Implicit
who your
bias.
wife is. So from the Nerds with Alcohol show, why don't you guys introduce yourselves
Well,
and tell us
ahead.
what you're drinking.
I'm Russ, also known as Top Hat or Top Hat Russ, and I'm drinking Black Fang from B Nectar.
Nice, very nice.
I'm a mead and cider guy, not so much a beer guy. So on our show, I always hit the ciders and meads and the occasional shitty, whatever kind of
Malt beverage.
Malt beverage, yeah. Thank you. I had a horrible one a few
Sneaky
weeks ago.
Tiki.
This Sneaky Tiki. God damn, that was awful.
Sneaky tiki.
It was this bright orange can. I was like, this could be good. No. A friend of mine, I gave, and unfortunately, I had a 4-pack, and I had to I gave it one to my friend. It's like, hey, Lydia, you want to try this? And she tried it, and she paused with this thoughtful expression on her face, and I'm like, what are you considering how bad it is? She goes, I'm trying to think of how to make it better. And after mixing it with about 4 other things, it was actually palatable. But so I take the big risks. Chris knows beer, so he usually knows what he's going to be drinking. So Chris,
You know what's interesting? Hold on one second before we go. I actually never noticed on the back of B Nectar, and I don't know how long they've been doing it. They have a nutrition label on there now.
Wait, they do?
Yeah.
Yep,
What?
sure do.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, let me.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no shit.
Black
I
Fang
thought
is-
that was supposed to be. I thought that was actually supposed to start happening next year.
Nope.
Well, if that's the case. B Nectar's ahead of the.
Yeah.
There's another one right there.
So look
Black
at
Fang is their
all those carbs.
It's their clove. Yeah, their
There's not one
clove-
on Believe.
Not one on Believe.
This is their cloven, blackberry and clove and orange zest cider or mead.
Sounds
It's a draft mead. It's fantastic. I always say it tastes the way City Club feels. For those of you,
I know Nick and I are aware. I know Rob's old enough to be aware.
I've only been there once, and that was enough.
yeah. For an old school goth like myself,
Oh, that's great.
That is
it's
wow.
yeah. For those of the listening audience that have been to City Club, you'll know what I'm talking about. Black Fang was one of their first meads that they made outside of Zombie Killers when they first started to expand the brand a little bit more, and it is now their fall seasonal mead.
Nice.
So yeah, it's
Very
really
nice.
my favorite. One of my favorites anyway. Chris.
Yeah, I'm Chris, the other co-host of Nerds with Alcohol, and I brought a beer that I brought back from Ireland, and it's the Fox's Rock American style IPA.
Yeah.
Because this is what the Irish think that Americans drink, and
It's what the Irish think.
it's actually not bad. I mean, it's brewed with a lot of the American hops. It's got that more of the citrusy flavor, but it's a whole 5.2%. ABV because that's really high for them. I actually spent some time when we were over there. My wife and I went over there, and we spent some time in Killarney, and we talked to the head brewer from Killarney Brewing.
Yeah,
and really nice guy. He sat down and had some beers with us, and he's actually from Vermont. And
really?
he said when he came over there, he started making beers like he did in Vermont, and they weren't selling. And it's because they were all 6 to 7% ABV, and
the Irish,
and the Irish won't drink those. They don't want them. They want 4.5 and lower because they want beers they can drink all day without getting hammered.
All right. Now it's starting to make more sense.
Yeah. So he's like, I had to cut back on what I was doing.
Just send them some Final Absolution, and say, "Come on, boys, come on, step up your game."
Little Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
Have you guys speaking of Ireland? And I actually started watching a lot of these shows and kind of catching up on it. But there's a YouTube show called The Try Guys, I think it is.
Yeah, sure, The Try Guys.
Which is a bunch of, for the moment, I've only seen Irish, but a bunch of Irish people doing like American style things, like trying American foods.
That's not The Try Guys. The Try Guys are these 4 dudes that.
Okay, so it's not The Try Guys.
No,
Hold on, I'm looking it up while you.
The Try Guys are these 4 dudes that basically they hand them some subject, and they're like, "Hey guys, give this a try." Like they got to wear a corset for a week, or a lot of the times it has to do with these 4 dudes like giving something a try that normally women would do or would have to do, or something way outside their comfort zone. I think one time I saw them all take ballet lessons for a week, and then they had to perform ballet. Oh god! So they're like a bunch of nerdy dudes. That what you're thinking of? I've seen
the
Try
Channel.
The Try Channel, right?
There we go.
Yeah,
I've seen some of that.
Where they basically take like drinks or food from another country and hand it to a bunch of people from a different country and see what they think. Yeah.
So all
some really cool shit, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I was watching it while I was doing a lot of work, and they had like Irish people try the strongest alcohol. So they like level them up at like Smirnoff, which is at like 80 proof, and get all the way up to 190 proof.
That one was awesome. Yeah. I love that. That was so funny.
And then they do like disgusting alcohol shots with like shots with mayonnaise and stuff. So
come on,
that's the tapeworm.
The tapeworm.
There's another one with Jaeger and mayo. That's
why would anybody do that to themselves?
Seriously.
That's disgusting.
And they even say they actually like bring buckets up because they think they're going to hurl.
Necessary, without a doubt.
See, I think one of the things is like people always talk about like the Irish Constitution when it comes to drinking, and I don't think it's not. I think it was what like Chris was saying. It's not that they can hold their liquor so much; it's that they can drink all damn day. They're just used to drinking all day. Sure. So, like, they don't drink the high alcohol content things that we do.
To my knowledge, most Irish places close pretty early at night.
Yeah, that too.
Because they've been drinking all day. So
well, a lot of the pubs are still open though.
Yeah.
So, what is Nerds with Alcohol?
Well, basically, it's a nerd-based podcast with a little alcoholic flavor. We usually
we drink and talk nerdy.
Yeah, we usually discuss at the beginning. We open the show with discussing a little bit about what our week was like, and then go into what we're drinking that week, and then from there, kind of just discuss movies, video games, television, books, comics.
Things nerds like us would love.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So do you have a classification of nerd for yourself? Like, are you a comic nerd? Are you a video game nerd? Are you...
if I had to pick one... Yeah. Yes. If I had to pick one, I'm a comic nerd first. I have a massive comic book collection that I've been collecting.
The two I said weren't the only choices.
Right.
There's plenty of others.
But I'm also a big movie nerd. I'm a big... I'm a huge gamer. I'm a big pop culture nerd. Really, I mean, I love genre television. I love, I've got Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime. I have CBS. I've got DC. I'm sure I'm going to get Disney when it comes.
I was going to do my next question. If you're going to get the Disney,
did you buy CBS just for Star Trek?
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah, so did he. I mean, I like a couple of the other CBS shows, but I mean. Star Trek was what the kicker was for me.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars nerd.
He's a bigger Wars guy. I'm the bigger Trek guy.
Yeah.
But is there a lot of conflict between the two?
No. Because I like Star Trek too. I'm not a big like original series guy. I'm more Next Gen and Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
Not so much Voyager. My wife loves Voyager.
Yeah, and I love Star Wars too. I mean, I grew up with Star Wars
sure.
too, but I mean, I just really.
I will
love
be
Star
getting
Trek.
Disney just for The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Oh,
if
for
nothing
sure.
else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got. I mean, just like I got the DC Universe app mainly for Young Justice,
And I'm loving Titans too.
and
though.
I loved Titans. Yeah, it ended up being pretty great. So.
I mean, you guys got your own little areas that you like, kind of like pay attention to the most. But then, but you kind of broaden out.
Right,
In
and
all across.
we're both big movie nerds. We're both big gaming
Sure.
nerds. So
Yeah.
I mean, we cross over that. But I'm definitely
We've both been playing D&D for most of our lives.
most of our lives. Yeah,
Oh, the regular tabletop.
yeah.
Oh.
See, we are epic level nerds.
Yeah, we were nerds before it was cool.
Before
Before
it was
it
cool.
became mainstream in the
Yeah,
last
this
5
is
years.
level 9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like what we like to. I'm nerd royalty,
Nerd royalty.
or a functioning nerd because like
What about
Right.
OG? Nerd
OG,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah. I'd like to say though,
OG
like,
nerd.
like we're functioning nerds, like nerds that could, I don't know, get a date or get, move out of your parents' basement and have a social life, things like that. It's breaking that stereotype.
Sure. Right.
'Cause I've also been. I'm also a big Renaissance Festival guy. I've worked at the Michigan Renaissance Festival for 26 years.
Oh, really?
And,
have you stayed in where are you working at the Renaissance? Festival?
I started off as an entertainer, and then I did security for almost 20 years. And,
really? Wow.
Now I am. I'm also the makeup artist that makes up the fairy cast, and I'm working as a boothie now too.
He's an art nerd too.
I'm
That's
an
the
art
other
guy.
thing.
Gotta throw the art piece in there
Yeah.
too.
Well, I am a professional artist. I work for the Detroit Parade Company. I'm the head painter for the Detroit Parade Company. I make floats for the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Oh, nice.
I think they
Very
just
cool.
named like the Detroit Thanksgiving Day Parade like the best.
Yeah, the
best
the
parade.
Number one
best
holiday.
parade.
Yeah.
The number one holiday-based parade in the country.
Wow, that's awesome. That's
What about you,
great.
Rob? Do you have like a nerd? Because I mean, a lot of our fans are definitely beer nerds,
Yes.
for sure. For
Yeah.
some of the people that we see on a lot of the different groups that we're in, but a lot of them also have like subset nerdiness when you look at those groups because you see people starting football chains about what's going on with the Lions or what's going on with Michigan State, or what's
Right.
going on even in wrestling or in movies. In these beer-centric groups, like what about you? Like, what would you think your nerd title would be? Like, do you have like a? Obviously, you do.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of tough to be a trivia host and not be a nerd, just by trade. You
can't call yourself
Well informed about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I listen to it. It's kind of funny just listening to trivia podcast and just hearing questions be asked. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I asked that question like 3 weeks ago. It's this, and so just general trivia nerd. I love football, so I'm kind of a big football nerd. I've been gaming all my damn life. I always.
What's your poison?
My poison as far as game or system right now?
Either, both.
Well, system. The only thing I have is PS4.
Right on. That's what I like to hear.
My poison right now. I just finished Spider-Man, and I just started Just Cause 4, which I shouldn't have because I was in the middle of playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and then I just ended up getting Just Cause. Like, you know what? Let me see what this game's gonna look like, and I just kept playing it. So I'm just like in the middle of that.
You're not missing much on Shadow.
I got Shadow on my computer. I'm not.
It's
I mean,
definitely
it's okay.
the middle child of the three that they made.
Yeah.
Because the first remake was really good. The sequel was very, very good.
Yeah.
The third one is really like the
Kinda the
story.
same old,
Yeah, it's nothing new, nothing changed, no new fighting, nothing like.
It's pretty.
It is. It is.
In
It's
the-
well made, and I tell you what, if you played it by itself without the reference of the first two games, it's definitely a really good game.
Right.
But in reference to the first two games, it falls really short.
Yeah, in a way, it kind of like just in the beginning, it felt like it was trying to be. Obviously, it's its own entity.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was trying to be Uncharted a little bit.
Well, and which is hilarious because Uncharted wouldn't be Uncharted without Tomb Raider.
Exactly.
Because Tomb Raider paved the way for that. you
Right,
know.
right. But I mean, as far as like gaming nerd, like my favorite series still all time right now, Mass Effect.
Oh, right on. Did you play Andromeda?
I did not.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
why it's
probably
still your
why it's still my
favorite.
favorite. And that is exactly why it's
See,
still my favorite.
I'm an easy audience. I mean, I'll find something that I like about most of the games that I play, and I haven't played Andromeda yet, but it's on I've got a shelf of like 15 games.
But to say, I think you and I are in the same kind of boat there with the backlog.
yeah, I have a huge.
Oh,
backlog.
yeah.
I
just started Witcher 3 today, so
Yeah.
that's how far my backlog
I
goes.
finished Witcher 3 like a month, maybe about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I just started Dishonored 2 yesterday.
Wow.
I just picked up Spider-Man, but it's on the backlog. It's gonna be a while till I get to it. I also hear that the Stan Lee cameo in Spider-Man,
Yes.
it gets you right in the feels, man.
It does.
Hits
It
you in the
does.
feels, man.
It really does, because it's just like you get to that scene, and it's just like any other cameo that it's like you don't expect it to like you're waiting for it to happen, and then when it happens, you weren't really expecting him to just show up right there,
Right.
And he just shows up, pure Stan Lee and everything,
Excelsior, true believers.
and it's done so well. It's done so well. It really is.
I'm gonna miss that man.
What about
Yeah.
you, Nick?
What kind of nerd?
Yeah.
I follow in the gamer realm a little bit. PC, PS4 mainly.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
PC and PS4.
Yep. Mostly PC, but I do kind of split as best as I can. I'm really big with sports history.
Sports history.
Sports history, not like if you told me like who's gonna like be drafted number 1 in the MLB draft, and who's gonna be the ultimate prospect in the next 5 years, I couldn't tell you because I'm not that in tune with a single sport, probably other than football.
Okay.
But if what I like to do is not just focus on all the major 4 sports, but every sport. So obviously the big 4, golf. I'll follow golf. I'll follow
Really? Golf?
Oh yeah, I'll follow
I like
golf. I'll
golf.
follow it. I'll follow tennis. I know Ken, you love tennis.
I do like tennis.
The autos sports, so mainly NASCAR.
If I want a nap, that's what I watch.
Yeah, if you want to nap, I recommend if you need a nap, watch NASCAR. I've dabbled in other sports like cricket.
God damn.
Yeah,
I tried watching that. I couldn't understand it.
It's you know what?
Are you a closet Brit? I mean,
No, I'm
it's
not.
the second most popular sport in
I
the world.
curl.
Yeah, curling.
Just not here.
I've always wanted to
Yeah.
go curling. I've always wanted to go.
The club's not about like 2
it's
miles
not that
away.
far from here.
Yeah,
It's in Royal
Right.
Oak, isn't it?
No, it's in
No, it's
Ferndale.
Ferndale.
Oh, Ferndale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Detroit Curling Club. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Expensive. Well,
Is it expensive
It's a
to-
bit expensive, and pretty much, if you want to get in there, you're probably on like a 3-month waiting list right
Oh,
now.
I believe it.
Yeah,
Especially
it
after
is-
the Olympics.
Yeah,
whenever-
it is. They do the rentals do fill up.
Do they?
Yeah.
it's crazy. Whenever I hear stuff like that, I did not get the sports gene when I growing up.
No?
My genetics is missing that thing. I could give a shit about professional athletics. I really could. It could disappear tomorrow, and other than the fact
You
that it
won't
would,
feel
it would-
bad.
Other than the fact that it would put a lot of people out of work, not just the athletes, but everybody
But
else.
all the
that's a-
behind the
all-
scenes
yeah.
folks. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, athletics, professional athletics, honestly, when you really think about it, employs hundreds of thousands of people.
Sure.
I mean, between all of the behind the scenes people, all the people that work at the stadiums, all the people that make
Yeah.
the shit that we buy,
TV, radio.
TV, radio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a multi-billion, probably multi-trillion-dollar
It-
worldwide
it's-
business.
it's
But
fu-
I could
yeah.
give a shit about it.
It's funny you mentioned that because I'm one of the losers that has Lions season tickets. Yes, he almost did you see that? He almost spit his meat out. Did you see that?
Really, I
Yeah,
am
well-
aware enough to know
So-
that the Lions are
They're shitty.
Yeah,
They're shitty.
That's putting
Chris
it mildly.
Chris
yeah.
has a great story when he was living in St. Louis about wearing his
Louisville.
excuse me, living in Louisville, and wearing his Detroit Lions jacket.
Yeah.
Into some place. It was what was it, a Wendy's or something?
It was a Wendy's, yeah.
Yeah, and the
I-
guy behind the counter is like, "That's a true fan."
It was in the 0-16 season.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no! Yeah,
Oh,
man.
And I've had this jacket
Yeah.
since the 90s. I mean, and
gosh.
it's still holding up.
That's
it's
true.
it's-
That's true blue and silver right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And the thing is, this year, I was
this-
about ready to say, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the thing
they're-
is, it's harder for me because the season tickets were my father's. He got them in 1980. He passed away about a little over 4 years ago. So it's hard for me to get rid of them, especially since he's seen just as much as crazy shit as I have. He was there for the 0-16 season. But you talk about, how it employs all these people.
Yeah.
One of the people that me and my wife, we went to the game this was it this past Sunday?
Yep.
Yeah, this past Sunday. And we ran into one of the beer vendor guys, and he was, working the Ford Field game at over there on Sunday. And then he was saying he was there at the Chicago Bears game the week before in Chicago. I'm like, are you like traveling back and forth between Detroit and Chicago? Selling beers to crazy football fans? I'm like, so it kind of made me think. I'm like, are these people like kind of doing this kind of like full time as much as they possibly can to?
Well, it's amazing. People go on and on about the idea that athletes make too much money, and sure, they kind of do.
Yeah,
they make
they do.
ridiculous amounts of money.
They really, really.
But if it wasn't for professional athletics, there'd be. It just employs a lot of people in this country. Between football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
You take the big four.
Just to take the big four alone.
Yep.
It's incredible. Then you take things like you said, golf and tennis and NASCAR, which it's not a fucking sport.
It's a motor sport.
It's driving in a goddamn circle.
Except for the 2 times out of the year that they drive on a road.
Other than the 2 times, yes, it is. All right, let's see who can make the left turns the best.
Yeah.
250 miles.
I disagree.
It's a massive waste of
wait,
fuel.
You disagree with it not being a sport?
I think it's a very, very competitive and very, very hard to get into sport. And there's
it is.
That I won't dispute that.
You need
It's
to be
very
athletic to get into that sport. You can't literally just sit. A person of my when was the last time you saw a person of my stature?
Fair enough, but when
It's not because of there's lack of driving. I'm sure there are big people who can drift and do well and drive well.
Sure.
It's
But
not
to do
for
that-
lack of aerodynamics. It's for the fact it's for
that
the
extra
fact
couple of pounds in the seat, man, makes a difference.
that
There,
there
we gotta trim the weight down on there, guys, so we can the car's lighter.
there are a lot of things that go into being a NASCAR, Formula One.
I would say driving is a skill. I would say that it is definitely a skill, or even a talent. But I'd say there's more skill goes into the building of the car, and it's almost more of a science.
Well, that's why if you ever remember the movie Fast and the Furious, you had the car guy, the smart guy who was supposed to go to MIT, but he had that ADD and shit, as he would call it. You have him, and then you have Vin Diesel, who
just a pure natural talent.
and Brian Earl Spillner. It sounds like a serial killer name.
You can even go back further to the one that Tom Cruise did. It was
Days of Thunder.
Days of
Days
Thunder.
of Thunder.
Yes.
And
Hey, we're talking about movies now. We're getting into the movie.
Rubbing his racing.
Well, hold on, because I want to finish up with Nick real quick. Sports history.
Yes.
Who was the #1 draft of the 2018 season?
The 20. Well, of what sport?
what sport?
NFL.
Of NFL.
NFL 2018.
This
so
most
this year.
the most recent draft.
Yes.
Holy shit! Who was the #1 pick?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Sports
of that too.
Mr. History Guy.
Yeah, I know.
I got to
That's
guess.
not. I say that's not history. That's
Recent
That's like
current events.
2018, I got to guess.
All right. Who from Central Michigan was the first-round draft pick of 2013?
2013
Yep. From Central Michigan.
from Central Michigan.
You're not doing really well.
No,
Yeah,
apparently
I'm
I'm not.
disappointed. I'm disappointed.
I mean,
Who's the 2009 #1 draft pick?
Why are we sticking on drafts? Why are we all?
because he was able to pull that up on the computer
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah. Who was the 2009 #1 draft pick?
2009.
9.
Can you at least give me the college?
Georgia.
Georgia. It was Matthew Stafford.
There you
wasn't
go. I just wanted to give you a win. It was Baker Mayfield.
That's what I thought.
it?
I had Baker
God,
Mayfield.
Fucking Baker Mayfield.
And then from 2013 from Central Michigan, Eric Fisher.
who?
Yeah, Eric Fisher.
Fisher.
He went to the Chiefs.
Went to the Chiefs.
Sorry, the Chefs.
2018.
Chefs.
He's a Pro Bowler this year.
I laughed my ass off when I saw that commercial.
Every time.
Great.
I mean,
googly
I
movie.
never said that I was gonna remember any of it. I do like reading about it. You know,
Funny thing is, I've always said that. I've always said the great googly movie was just one of
Great
those things.
googly.
Where you say,
Right.
And that commercial, I lost my shit.
Every time I have a trivia question where the answer to the Chiefs, I say the Chefs.
Chefs.
I say it every time. love that commercial.
so
Now,
funny.
is it? Let's go back to your guys' show for a moment.
Well,
Is it-
I want to time out real
oh,
quick because I
oh.
want some of that Fox's Rock IPA
Oh,
in
okay.
my glass, if you don't mind.
We'll pass that down.
Passing
Well,
that
we
down.
pass this back down.
It's an IPA I'm asking for. Let's all
Oh wow,
get
yeah,
excited.
he doesn't like IPA. I forgot he doesn't like IPAs.
I
Is it
want a
just
little taste.
Is it just you two
That's all.
guys on the show, or do you guys?
Most
We
of
have
the time.
guests. Yeah,
But
we have guests.
You guys
Yeah,
have-
you can pass
yeah.
this down back.
Okay.
We've actually talked about having guests a little more often, just to shake it up. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, like actually, the show that just came out today is my wife was on.
Yeah.
We had her on because she just saw some classic holiday movies for the first time in her life.
Yeah. She
Oh,
had never,
really?
She had
Like
never
what?
seen Christmas Vacation or Die Hard. I know, right? I know. That was my reaction.
So what is your argument that Die Hard
it is a
Christ-
goddamn Christmas movie.
I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
It is a
Die
goddamn
Hard.
Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It
The
was-
argument. The
I'm
argument
just
is
curious what the argument is for it being a Christmas movie.
because it takes place at Christmas.
Yeah, it takes place at Christmas, so it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas
It
party.
doesn't matter that it was released
I
in the
mean,
summer.
It's
takes
not
place
a
at
Christmas movie, but it was taking place during.
Yeah, a lot of people
Christmas.
say it's
So, yeah.
it's not a Christmas movie. It's an action movie that takes place at Christmas.
Yeah.
But to me, it's a Christmas movie because
Yeah.
I mean,
it's one of my
I
favorite.
mean, wasn't
holiday
Bruce
movies.
Willis wearing a Santa hat in that movie at some point?
No, he puts one on one of the
Yeah,
terrorists.
he's
and-
a-
Yeah.
John McClane
The,
has stated that it is not a Christmas movie.
he did.
he doesn't know shit.
yeah.
So.
Like that.
I mean, he was only
just got paid.
the lead
the
actor.
second and the sequel too. Actually, if you really if you consider the sequel takes place exactly a year later.
Yep.
And he's flying back home
Yeah.
from L.A.
Yeah.
So it's like
to Alpena.
yeah.
Technically,
True.
Alpena, yeah.
It was because it was filmed in Alpena.
Yeah.
It's the only place that
It
had
was
snow.
filmed there. Yeah.
So then is Gremlins a Christmas movie?
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
Sure.
What about
Absolutely.
Trading Places?
Sure. Absolutely.
Sure, I'd say it is. Yeah.
You're talking about the one scene in that movie that's at Christmas time. You are
Merry
aware of
New
it.
Year.
No, actually, the whole thing
thing
takes
happy.
place around Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. In this country, we say happy.
All right, and then the last one, Rocky 4.
Wow.
I don't remember that one enough to say.
That's tough.
The fight
does-
was on Christmas
fight was
Day.
on
Was
Christmas
Christmas
Day.
Day.
Christmas
but-
was, but the whole movie doesn't take place. It's
Right.
months. It's the months leading up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
So
like-
I would say no because it's not. It doesn't take place like on Christmas or right at.
Yeah, there's no
Christmas.
focus on Christmas
It's
at
not-
all in
it
that.
Just
I mean,
I mean,
happens,
the whole
but-
movie's the focus on that one fight. So technically, it is kind of focused on.
but
Christmas
not,
Day.
but not.
Christmas
on-
But the entire time period of the movie itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about all of the training, the fight, and all of that to the point to the fight. Then you're talking about the last, 35 minutes that are focused on the Christmas time.
Right.
I think Renee says that. I'm not sure if she's referring to Die Hard or Rocky
Or Gremlins.
or Gremlins.
Yeah, she said
it's a Christmas movie.
That's
so
Die Hard, yeah.
She loved it. That's the other thing. The interesting thing you mentioned, Rocky IV. Ivan Drago, who's played by
Dolph
Dolph
Lundgren.
Lundgren. Dolph Lundgren's had a bit of a resurgence in his
He
career.
has.
Yes.
He's in a new Aquaman.
He's
Yeah.
in the new Aquaman.
I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah. And
He told me, he's like, "Oh, did you like Dolph Lundgren?" I was,
Yeah.
He was in that?
yeah. Well, he's also he is also in Creed 2, reprising his role
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Ivan Drago because
Creed's fighting
fighting
his son.
right?
Right.
So, it's really cool. Plus he had some. He showed up in Expendables, and he's been doing a couple other things. But yeah, he's had a bit of a resurgence in his career. I like to see that. I love
Started
that
to see
shit.
some of these older actors start to come back
Yeah.
Yeah.
with some new
Yep.
movies. Dolph being one in
Yeah.
the couple that you mentioned.
You know, I thought I saw rumors that Brock Lesnar was supposed to play Ivan Drago's kid for the movie a while
Really?
ago.
God, that would have been ridiculous.
That he's been
I don't
so
know.
much bigger than Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
Tower over
Right.
him.
Well,
I
isn't
mean,
that
Michael
the
Jordan
whole,
is
I
a
mean,
short
that
man.
basically
thing.
would have been Little Mac versus Mike Tyson. Right
Yeah.
but Little Mac wins.
Oh man!
Holy
we're
crap.
We're going with the games now. Good game, by the way. I love that game.
Nice reference, by
Thank
the way.
you.
That's going back a ways, man. That's going back a
Let's
ways.
kind of stick in the way of movies before we take our first break, because I want to ask a question from you guys. In your personal opinion, so professional opinion as podcasters, professional podcast opinion, what is a movie that is like, it doesn't have to be a serious movie like an AFI Top 100, but what is the the movie that someone has to watch in their lifetime.
Oh, motherfuck.
I don't know that one. Is that behind the beaded wall and Family Video? Or is that All Motherfuck 2?
Man, you got. I mean, it's just a very difficult question.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, see, I don't think it's a difficult question because I think it's not something that you need to build on, but I think it's something that has a very sound, either a very sound music around it, like a John Williams type movie, or a very sound story, a very good, true,
It's
like
got to
you
be
know,
an iconic film.
And I disagree with that because the story that I'm going to tell you is I believe Tommy Boy is probably one of the movies you have to see because it gives you literally everything in one movie.
Please elaborate.
Oh, no problem.
I'm actually kind of curious
I am
about
too.
this as well.
Hold on a second. People say I don't get on my soapbox, but I'm getting on my damn soapbox.
Attention, Ken.
Right.
Why?
Don't get me wrong. I love Tommy Boy, but I'd really like to hear your reasoning.
So personally, when I'm looking at a movie, I'm not looking at something that's got a very deep story where I literally have to look in the corners to find something that is going to give me hints. And I say, for instance, what is a good Ghostbusters, excuse me, Back to the Future.
Okay.
Back to the Future is a solidly written movie, solidly shown. The cinematography of that movie, there's so many hints and so many things that Zemeckis puts in that movie that you can watch it and enjoy it, but to understand it even more, you really have to watch it.
You have to watch it about
5,
a dozen
6,
times.
7, 8.
Particularly if you watch the trilogy as a whole kind of experience, then it's even more so.
Yes.
I'm also one of the people that thinks Back to the Future 2 is the worst of the trilogy, but we'll continue.
No, there's a lot of people that
You're
feel
not
that
the
way.
only one.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think like 2 is number 1 or number 2. I
No,
think it goes 1, 3, 2.
Really quickly, and I'll let you continue. 1, 3, 2.
Yep.
3 was really good. It was
My
a hell of a lot.
people.
Go ahead, continue. Tommy
So,
Boy.
in regards to Tommy Boy, I think the comedic timing of David Spade and Chris Farley is just amazing. I think the protagonist of, oh my gosh, why can't I think of his name? Rob Lowe, thank you.
The antagonist.
The antagonist.
Antagonist. Wow. One of those types of guys. So the antagonist in Rob Lowe is perfect because he is hated, but it's not. It's hated as a shitty person, but it's one of those things to where, you know, you just want to see him fail miserably, which he does, and he gets the slapstick humor at the end in regards to the ball bag incident. I think Dan Aykroyd as the secondary antagonist in regards to trying to take over the like for me, it just fits every single part that I want within a movie. The only thing it doesn't have is, you know, like a good score, but I still think the music's good in it.
It's quirky to kind of fit the.
There's a little bit of romance.
Well, yeah, you got a little bit of
yeah.
romance, but it's not overpowering. It doesn't hit you in the face. It's not the main storyline.
Right.
romance, comedy, drama with his father passing.
Well, it's
action.
to me, it's a modern day Don Quixote.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. I can see that.
Here I was going to go with like Vertigo or Sympathy for Lady Vengeance.
Yeah. Requiem for a Dream, shit like that.
No, so there are very solid movies that I believe everyone should see. Requiem for a Dream is one of them. I think it's such a solid.
Once, without a doubt. Once, that is all you need. You know.
Well,
No.
same with like Fight Club. I think Fight Club's another.
Fight Club.
But Fight Club it would be one of my choices for a movie you must see.
But
Infernal Affairs, because The Departed is not that good. Infernal Affairs is so much
But
better.
when I think of a movie, I don't like. I want to be intrigued. I want to follow. I want to root for the hero, and I don't need a downer ending like Empire. Like I want.
See, I love Empire. That's
I think Empire is a great movie, but in regards to the fact that if you need to see this movie before you die, you need to see Empire, but you also need to see 1 and 3 to complete the trilogy.
Sure.
I mean, that was one of the first movies I saw that actually had a downer ending. And I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this actually
when you're-
happens in movies?
As a little kid, yeah.
Yeah.
It only happens because they knew that the third one was coming, and then they
Right.
could do
Yeah.
the happy ending.
Well,
then.
that
I mean, it was
point
like
they
actually
do,
just, I finally just watched Infinity War and just like watching that. And it was like,
Oh my god!
holy shit.
Well, it's funny. I can't, one of the funniest memes about that movie was like people that are watching Infinity. It was like this picture of all these people just weeping and horribly, just totally upset. It's like people that are watching Infinity War that don't read the comics. Then
Yep.
right next to it, a picture of a bunch of people walking out just laughing and
Yep.
smiling. Fans that have read the comics.
Exactly.
So, well, do we want to go around the table?
Yeah,
here
go for it. I mean, if you got one, just
you know, like I said, being a big movie guy, this is a Sophie's choice kind of situation. I'd rather like do like a top 10 kind of thing, but I can't do that right now.
You always do that.
I always
just
do that.
Whenever I ask him for,
I would have to say, if I got to choose something, God, probably Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, good, great choice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good.
What'd you
one.
think of the sequel?
Actually, I haven't watched it yet. It's on my shelf. I just haven't had a chance to get to it, but I've heard good things.
It was good. It was a lot like it's the same tone and everything.
I was
as Blade
kinda
Runner. It's got
yeah.
that same movement.
I was kind of
It's
holding off
kinda slow.
to a moment to show my girlfriend because she hasn't seen. My girlfriend has a stunning gap in her movie watching and like tons of popular movies that she's never seen. So I've been trying to expose her to them, and Blade Runner is one of them. So I figured we'd do like a marathon.
Yeah.
So Chris, what about you?
I'm just gonna go kind of simple because it's what's coming to my head. But I'm gonna say Princess Bride. Just I love that movie. It has a fantastic cast. I think the acting is actually fantastic. I love the scenes with the grandfather and his grandson and how that their relationship grows. I like just the storytelling inside of it and the back and forth and the jokes are hilarious.
Yeah.
Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
It's eminently quotable.
Yes.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
You know.
Well,
Absolutely.
one it's probably not all that quotable, but it is definitely just like one of my favorites that I just love to throw out there. The director's cut version, because the theatrical just cuts out so much of Leon, otherwise known as The Professional.
Yeah, that's a
Sure.
fantastic
Okay.
movie. Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
This is on the AFI Top 100. Goodfellas.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Model,
I mean,
yeah.
awesome cast, great story. You talked about score, Ken. Just when you were talking about Tommy Boy, it talks. You got music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and I think it might have even trickle into the 80s.
A little bit, just a
very,
very
little.
little bit.
But you get that 50s, 60s, 70s, kind of era going on with it. It's
And very true to form too. I
Yeah.
mean, it was very. I mean, I'm half Italian. And,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so I have a soft spot
Yep.
for Dago movies like that, and that's the way Jersey Italians were back then.
Yeah.
Very boisterous, over the top, and not
Yep.
all of them were mobbed up, but I mean,
it gives you just a little bit of a feel as to what it was,
Yeah.
could have been, or what was.
and you can relate. Yeah, like I know, like watching like The Sopranos, I used to be able to relate to the family.
My dad,
aspects.
when he was still here with us, he loved that show.
Yeah.
he would watch it. That was the only reason why we had movie channel. Yeah,
Yeah.
HBO. It's the only reason why we had HBO, so we could watch The Sopranos.
Because I could relate to the family aspect. I mean, my family wasn't mobbed up or anything, but I could, the Sunday dinners and the
Yep.
conflict between the
Yep.
relatives and stuff like that.
Yep.
Oh man,
Yeah.
totally.
Yep.
believable.
Absolutely. I agree.
And
All
Goodfellas had that.
We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Better on Draft podcast. And we are back, episode 160, Better on Draft podcast. Still with us, the Nerds with Alcohol. Guys, why don't you go over where can they find you? How can they get your show, their website, participate in nerdiness? Do you guys have like a group chat or anything like that, like a Facebook group?
Well, we have a Facebook page.
Yep.
Nerds with Alcohol Show. And then you can find us at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. All of our episodes are available there. You can also find us pretty much anywhere that you can find quality podcasts. They let us in there too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all the different platforms. We
We have a website.
have a web. Yeah, well, I already said the website. You can find us on Twitter at Drinking Nerds and Instagram at Drinking Nerds.
Yeah, you could also stream all of our shows directly off of the website too.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Stream and download them.
Nice.
All right. So for segment 2, because Matt's not here, he is listening. So
He's watching now.
he is watching, so he might be able to participate while
Hi,
he's.
Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Are you sounding like my mother or my Matt trying to sound like my mother? Is that what your impression was?
Like Patty.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Matt's impression of my mother. By the way, I have Wab's 20th anniversary blonde. If anybody wants to try it.
And I opened up Blackbeard's Breakfast, which is a bourbon barrel aged porter.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Yeah. So earlier today, I was on Facebook. Shocker.
Surprise, surprise.
You know who else is on Facebook? North Center Brewing over in Northville, Michigan. You can go check them out. It's just south of Baseline Road over on North Center Road. Go grab some beer. Ultraviolet's on tap. Delicious beer, if I may say.
Still plugging your own damn beer.
Hey, shut the fuck up. There's not enough alt beers in this world, so let me enjoy my time.
Fair enough,
So
man. Hey.
on Facebook, I found a website called Cameo. Have you guys ever heard of this website before? Cameo.
Word up.
Cameo.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, nice, dude. I just got it. That's awesome.
So,
Word up.
Ow.
so for Cameo,
Nice.
as a professional, person who you may feel if you are a popular person, you can put yourself on Cameo, kind of like Fiverr, and people can request you to do birthday, like, hey, I'm this person, you know, for example, Wesley Snipes is on Cameo.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
And you can get Wesley Snipes to give you a personalized message.
Always bet on black.
I feel like all this money is going towards taxes.
Yeah. You know, it's
So
funny.
I've got
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate
Take uphill. Yes. I use that line so many times that people don't know it.
Yeah.
It's
And
like, come on,
It's one of
seriously?
the worst lines ever.
Right.
You were
So
saying.
what we're going to do is we're going to go around. I'm going to give you a pair of people, and you're going to need to tell me who costs more
All right.
to get
God.
this.
Okay.
All right.
So we're going to start off very simple, and I'm going to start with Nick.
Do we have some music?
We do not have. I can throw some
Throw
music
some music
in the
on. This-
background.
I think this would be a great-
We got to get it
See,
very very light though.
Yeah.
That's music.
Matt's just trying to deplane, by the way.
There we
There
go.
we
So
go.
we got some light
Okay,
music in
that's
the
good.
background. All right.
Okay.
All right, start with me.
So we're going to start with you just because of who it is, and I know who you know who both are.
okay. Who costs more?
So you have Wesley Snipes. So we already mentioned Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
Versus Lillian Garcia.
Who the hell is Lillian Garcia?
She is the lead
Ring announcer.
lead ring announcer of WWE.
Yeah.
She is the modern day Howard Finkel.
Okay, sure.
See, now I think this is a kind of a trick question because
That's the whole point of it.
I
is
know
to try to throw you
because
off.
Wesley Snipes has the taxes, but wrestling fans would pay money
I think.
Yeah.
to see Lillian Garcia. So
I think so too, because I mean, you just go back to Wesley Snipes' last 5 movies.
Yeah.
Or the TV show
Wait,
that he had briefly.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I'm gonna go with Lillian Garcia.
Lillian Garcia costs $35
For how long?
just to get a personalized
It's
message.
like a personal phone
Well,
call
how
or
long?
something.
So like a
It's
minute
not
or
a
two?
phone call; it's just a video that
video.
gets sent.
Oh,
They
okay.
make
Oh,
a
it's a
video,
video.
Okay.
like for instance, if Nick was a fan of Lillian Garcia, I could get her to say, "Hey Nick, happy 33rd birthday or 34th. You're turning 34 this year."
I'm turning 34.
Yeah. Happy 34th birthday. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. You know, we can get her to say something
Yeah.
like that. Wesley Snipes, $500.
Get the fuck
Holy
outta
shit.
here. No fuck.
Well,
All right.
Who would bet on
come
black?
on.
Is that where we're gonna go?
Who's gonna bet on black in
gonna
that
go?
case? Who's gonna $500?
$500.
I'd pay that if he would get dressed up in the drag that he did in Tuong Fair. That's what I would want to see.
Right there.
you
Dress up
know?
like Blade maybe for $500.
Yeah,
But
or that would be good too.
I mean, I feel like.
But
you're-
that would be easy for
Yeah,
him.
it is, too.
I'd want to see him work for it.
What about like
you know?
Simon Phoenix from Demolition
That
Man?
too.
Yeah,
sure.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, but he'd have
Dye
to,
the hair.
He'd have to,
Yeah,
he'd
there's
have
the
to his
tip,
hair.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
Let's go to Rob.
All right.
Rob, you're next up.
All right.
Andy Dick is on this list.
Oh, of course he's on this list.
And
God.
Oh God.
Is he more or less expensive than Chum Lee from Pawn Stars?
Oh, jeez.
Man, that's tough.
Oh, jeez.
Him and his useless knowledge of Air
Andy
Jordan.
Dick or
The,
Chum
the,
Lee.
the guys on Pawn Stars think that things are worth way more than they.
Exactly. And that's the problem that I'm having with. So I kind of feel
They're
like.
gonna overvalue themselves. It's,
But I mean, it is Andy Dick, and he overvalues. I think he overvalues.
He
the
needs
shit
drug
out of
money, though.
himself, too.
Drug money.
No, he needs rehab money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, I'm kind of thinking Chum Lee is probably around. I almost said Chun Li as I was thinking about that.
Was it Street Fighter?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, spinning bird kick like a motherfucker. I'm thinking he's probably around that like $75-$80 range.
Chumley.
Yeah, Yeah, because I mean, it was still a popular show. Everybody was watching it.
It was
You
one of
just
the
need to
most
tell me
popular
who's
shows.
more expensive,
I
Andy
think-
Dick or Chun Li?
Andy Dick.
Chumley.
I think Andy Dick is probably like. I think he's like $300, 300, 350. So I'm gonna go
Andy Dick is $99.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That's a true value.
Chum Li, 65.
Oh,
So you got it with Andy Dick.
Andy Dick.
Chris.
I'm not surprised.
yeah. No, I'm not
Chris,
either.
you a big fan of the Goonies?
Yeah.
Come on.
They never die.
Corey Feldman
Okay. He needs some cash.
or Sean Astin? Both are on this show.
I think Sean Astin's going to be higher.
Corey Feldman, $122. I don't know why the number 122, but it's
It's
there.
such an oddly specific.
Does he dress up like Michael Jackson?
Sean Astin, $150. So you got it. You got it.
See, I feel like I don't know.
Sean
I don't-
Astin's doing a little bit more right now. He's on Stranger Things.
Yeah, I would feel like Corey
Samwise.
Feldman's,
Yeah.
probably gonna charge more.
Yeah, he's still living on Samwise money.
Yeah.
Russ, are you a fan of The Office?
I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Familiar with it.
It's one of those always been me. It's on my queue to watch on Netflix. I just
Okay.
never got around watching all of it.
All right, we'll skip that. We'll go with Tom Felton,
Okay.
so Draco Malfoy,
Draco Malfoy, sure.
or Tommy Lee.
Oh God. I'd say Tommy Lee is more expensive.
Tommy Lee costs $300.
Still a bargain compared to Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
Tom Felton, $500.
Oh.
Draco.
Man, he thinks
All right.
he thinks he's worth Snipes money.
Yes. Yeah.
So right now, Chris and Rob both have 1. Nick and Russ both have 0. So let me make sure I highlight these that I did these real quick, just so I don't re-ask the question and somebody.
I just thought Tommy Lee would just be so arrogant. You know.
Tommy Lee.
All right,
More expensive.
Nick,
Yes.
especially for you.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Here we go again.
You ready?
Yeah, I guess so.
Mickey James
Okay.
Oh boy.
or Zack Ryder,
Mickey James or Zack Ryder?
both on Cameo.com.
See, you get to see. Oh man, I feel like Mickey James would just try and gouge you for money just because she can, whereas Zack Ryder, he'll do whatever just to get a little bit of exposure.
I think he's like $10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mickey James.
Zack Ryder costs $100.
Okay.
Mickey James, $250.
Yeah. Wow. Why am I not surprised?
I'm kind of embarrassed because I didn't catch either of those names. Who are those?
They are professional wrestlers.
Both
They're
professional
professional
wrestlers.
wrestlers.
Zack Ryder's, I mean, he does like this whole Long Island bro kind of gimmick.
okay, sure.
Mickey James-
He honest to God was Jersey Shore before Jersey Shore existed.
Yes. Yes.
See, I got out of wrestling a while ago. So.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's my nerd, by the way, is
Yeah,
wrestling.
wrestling. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate it. When meeting Hulk Hogan was one of the biggest thrills of my life.
I was at WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, I was at
Oh,
wrestling.
really?
As was I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at
Yes.
WrestleMania 23.
Get into the Silverdome and can't move.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was at WrestleMania 1 when they broadcasted on a big screen at Joe Louis Arena. Because
Oh, really?
I was at that one too, and I went to 2
Wow.
where the simulcast, and then I actually went to 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Very cool.
Rob,
Because we're old.
you ready? You ready?
Ready.
Terrell Owens,
Oh god.
T.O.,
Oh gosh.
or Jeremy Roenick?
Ooh. So a football player versus a hockey player.
I know who Jeremy Roenick
I know. I'm
is.
just saying. for all the non-sports fans listening.
Well, thank you, because I need the help, man.
Yeah, you don't sports ball.
I don't.
He was-
I
you
don't
know,
sports ball.
Pretty much considered one of the greatest Philadelphia Flyers of all time, arguably.
Yeah.
I needed to put that in there.
Greatest Flyers is arguable.
Yeah, I know, but they still swept our wings in what was that, 95?
Yeah, it was
I
right
remember.
before.
I thought that was the Devils.
That was the Devils.
Devils.
That was the Devils.
the Devils.
Yeah.
I think
We swept the
we
Flyers.
swept
We
the
swept the
Flyers.
Flyers. That's right.
Flyers and the
Capitals.
Caps.
Capitals.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, fuck the Flyers.
So, Rob, T.O. or Jeremy Roenick?
Oh, boy.
By the way, this is a legit website that you guys can go to, and you can find a lot more people. There are a lot of people on this website that I'm like, who? Like, there are some that I recognize, and there are some that I'm just like, who?
I got to go game theory on this because it sounds like it should be T.O. All of this sounds like it should be T.O. But I'm going to go Roenick.
Terrell Owens, $300. Jeremy Roenick, $200.
Wow.
All right, Chris, you are up.
You know, hang on a second. Before you go to Chris, I should probably, that statement I made about Hulk Hogan, that was before we knew he was a racist misogynist. It's like I met him when I was working in the strip bar.
That didn't.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Before he
These
was
24-inch pythons. You need to qualify.
before
that.
they had
That's
to
all right.
finally like kick him out of the WWF World of Hall
I mean,
of Fame.
if you
They
met
haven't
him, if you
kicked
met
him
him,
out,
if you met him
but-
after that, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have like, dude, you're a great wrestler. You're an awesome racist too, apparently.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're a great wrestler
Huge
back in the day.
racist. Say racist misogynist.
I loved you when you had that conversation about your daughter. You know,
Yeah.
Chris, are you a fan of The Office?
I've seen some.
God damn it. We'll save that for the end then.
It's one of those ones I've always meant to watch. You know, it's just
All right. So, your choice is Gilbert Gottfried
Okay.
or Holly Madison.
ooh, Holly Madison from The Girls Next Door. She was one of Hugh Hefner's wives or girlfriends.
Apparently, she just wrote a book and said how horrible. he was.
Yeah. I'm going to say it's probably Holly Madison.
Incorrect. Holly Madison $50, Gilbert Godfrey $125.
That's it for Gilbert Gottfried?
That's it. You can get a personalized message from Gilbert
Wow.
Gottfried for $125.
That's kind of crazy. All right.
All right.
That's not a bad deal.
Russ,
Yes, sir.
you follow up with pop culture nerd?
Dude.
yeah, right.
I'm wearing a Captain America football jersey for you guys, by the way.
Are you familiar?
that's a-
And
that's a
Superman
hockey
belt
jersey.
buckle.
Are you
Russ,
familiar with who
that's a hockey
Stormy
jersey.
Daniels is?
Football jersey. Yes, I am familiar with Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels,
I do watch
you
pornography.
can get a personalized message, or Snooki
Oh, God.
from the Jersey Shore. And this one, I want you to gamble on like how not that it's going to cost you any more, but think of prices. The max price for all of these are $500.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
So there is a
okay.
top out.
There is a top out. I don't know if there's more
So
than
Wesley
5.
Snipes is the most expensive. Is a top out?
Him and Draco.
Him and Draco so far.
Wow.
Let's see. Stormy Daniels or Snooki Palooza.
This
The fact that I know her last name.
Oh no, this is the
embarrassing.
blonde. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
This blonde's really good.
Shit. Let's go with what the fuck? Let's go with Snooki.
Snooki costs $300.
Yeah.
Stormy Daniels only costs $250.
Look at that.
Well, she's got all that, that fat cash that she got from Donald Trump, so she's doing okay.
So after one round, you all are 1-1.
Yeah.
One
Two-
win,
two
one
rounds.
loss. Two rounds, yes.
Yeah,
Two rounds.
Yes.
All right, so let's go through one more. Let's see if we can try to get a winner. If not, I got
right.
a few tiebreakers in here.
All right.
All right, for Nicholas,
Yes.
we'll stick in your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10,
10. Okay.
versus The Godfather. Who costs more to get a
Ty
personalized?
Dillinger
Ty
or the
Dillinger
Godfather.
or The Godfather. Both wrestlers for you.
Ty Dillinger is got the most
The
active
Godfather.
career right now. I don't know what the Godfather's doing.
He just got inducted into the Hall of
He
Fame.
just got inducted to the Hall of Fame, but
This
I don't know
blonde's
how
really
many.
good.
I'm not sure how many gigs he's got.
I don't understand how he got inducted to all of it.
The Ho Train, man.
Do you want to know why, real
Oh my
quick?
God,
Honest to
no,
God,
just-
3
alright.
seconds. He never left the WWE.
It's just Bangarel,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Oh, Godfather. Remember the whole
That's
train?
true.
Yeah.
Come aboard the Ho Train.
I'm gonna go with the Godfather.
The Godfather currently costs $30
Oh shit!
to get a personalized message.
Sounds about right.
Ty Dillinger, only $50.
That's all right. Okay.
Nick, unless everyone loses, you are out.
Well, we can always go get one from Danica McKellar, I guess.
Mr. Rob.
And who doesn't?
Yes.
Who doesn't love Winnie
know.
Cooper? Man, come on.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Quarterback, or excuse me, not quarterback. Wow. Former champion of wrestling, Bret Hart. You know who Bret Hart is.
Brett the Hitman Hart.
Yes. I'm
Or
aware of Bret Hart.
was a
swimming gold medalist. You think I planned this one for you? Swimming gold medalist Ryan Lochte.
God.
Bret Hart or Olympic gold medalist Ryan Lochte.
And, Olympic liar and all the other good shit.
Hey, but he's so smart, though.
He wasn't smart enough to get away with that shit in Rio. That's what
I was being sarcastic. Guy sounds like an idiot.
What did he do in Rio?
He was accused of stealing.
He did several things that just weren't very smart and should have just kind of sat on his ass.
And then ran.
Yeah, and then
I think I remember something about this. Yeah, okay.
all right, Ryan Lochte or Bret Hart.
Sounds like Ryan Lochte may need some money for legal fees.
See, and that's he just needs money in general. God,
But did Bret screw Bret?
yeah, there's the Montreal screw job. I feel like he needs to make up for that.
I don't
All right, I think just based on Vince just kind of fucking him over, that I think I'm going to go with Bret Hart on that one.
Bret Hart, $175. Ryan Lochte, $150.
Hey,
God, that was
Rob,
close.
Rob, you are still in this. Chris,
Close.
are you familiar with Epic Mealtime?
No.
I am.
Bacon strips and bacon strips and bacon
Bacon
strips.
All right, so we'll go to the next one because there's no more asking. Abby Lee Miller of what's the kid dancing show? Fuck, my ex-wife made me watch it all the
Kid
time.
Dancing with the Stars or Kid?
No. It was the dance company show.
Oh.
Oh my god, I can't tell you how many fucking episodes of this damn Dance Moms. There we go.
Moms.
All right, so Abby Lee Miller
Abby
of
Lee.
Dance Moms versus Bam Margera, the man who killed someone.
From originally from Jackass.
Jackass.
Yeah.
Viva la Bam.
Yeah, a bunch of different shows. It's gonna be a wild guess. I have no idea. We'll go with Bam.
Bam Margera, only $65
Wow.
to get a message from him. Abby Lee Miller, $80.
I thought it would be more. With all the tax troubles she has.
I thought it would be too.
I
but-
think it's at least several hundred for her.
All
Might
right.
be going for quantity over quality.
Yeah,
over.
that's true. But Abby Lee's like one of those selfish people that would just charge.
So Russ, I'm going to
$500.
allow you to choose your final category, I guess you could say.
Very well.
You have either the one with the Epic Mealtime guy, the Office one, or a sports ball one.
Give me The Office, babe.
All right. Leslie David Baker or Kate Flannery, both from Office Stardom. Who charges more?
Okay, well, which was which? I am familiar with the show. Leslie was she the blonde?
So Leslie was the black guy.
Oh, okay. The black dude. Yeah, that guy. And the other one was, again?
Kate Flannery played Meredith Palmer
Okay.
on The Office.
Sure. Well, let's.
That was
sounds
funny.
like we'll do a shot in the
Roll
dark
the dice.
thing. Yeah, roll the dice. Let's go with Leslie. as the
Leslie
more
David
expensive.
Barker, $300. Kate Flannery, $100.
See? Lucky guess.
All
Got it.
right, we got
Yeah,
two
two-way
more to
tie.
go. Rob and Russ are the only two in left, so I am going to give Rob the sports ball one.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Russ. Ricky Williams
Oh no!
or Brett Favre.
Ooh.
Both on Cameo, you can get personalized messages from.
Hey. Smoke weed every day.
Herbalist Ricky Williams.
Yes.
He is a herbalist now.
Yeah.
He was an herbalist back then.
I'm going with Ricky Williams.
So, Russ, for information, Ricky Williams smoked a lot of pot in the NFL and got cut by the Lions.
I see.
Rob, you are wrong. It's Brett Favre, $500. Ricky Williams, $250.
What the hell?
All right.
It's Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's Brett Favre.
he just sits on a
Famous
farm
from-
in Mississippi. What the fuck is he doing? And he needs $500.
Well, you know, I mean, there's something about Mary.
He's got some lawsuits
money.
he's got to pay off.
Yeah.
So,
Sending
Russ,
dick pics to-
either you're going to win this or we'll call it a tie.
Okay.
We are on the final one. Sadly, you are stuck with, from Epic Mealtime fame, Harley Morenstein.
Okay.
He also played the Border Patrol agent in the movie Tusk.
He was in that movie?
He was. He was
All
the
right.
Border Patrol. Giant beard
I
guy.
actually own Tusk.
On
And
your shelf, haven't watched it yet.
No, I have. I watched it. No, I watched
he
it.
is going up against actor and rapper Simon Rex, a.k.a. Dirt Nasty. Who charges more
Dirt Nasty.
for a personalized message?
Dirt Nasty. He's a rapper.
Dirt Nasty charges $69.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
Harley Morenstein, only $50.
Hey,
Russ is winning the cameo contest. You win absolutely nothing. Congratulations.
all right. Bragging rights are fine.
Bragging
What's in the
rights are
box?
fine. So this website allows you to
What's in the
literally
box?
get anyone that's on it. So basically, as a artist or actor, actress, whatever, you can sign up to give your, I guess, your soul away by.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for you.
One
Ken.
for me.
It's gonna be a higher or lower. I don't have enough time to get to.
What is
here.
this, Card Sharks?
Card
Yeah,
Shark.
it's Card Sharks. You sing this song every once in a while. It's about a certain day of the week.
It's Rebecca Black Friday.
Yes, Rebecca Black.
I know how
God
much she
damn it, I
charges.
hate
Oh,
that
you
song.
do?
Of course I did.
Oh.
I saw everything.
All right. Well, you tell me how much she charges.
If I'm not mistaken, Rebecca Black charges $250.
Oh, you're not even close, man.
Oh, was I wrong?
You're way too high.
Oh, what is
Oh,
Rebecca?
$40.
Damn.
Rebecca Black, $40.
She was just on the 4 or the 5 or something like that. It was some singing show that's on TV. And everyone got really confused because they all recognized her, but they didn't recognize her, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I know you. How do I know you? And she's like, yeah, I'm Rebecca Black. I used to do this thing. It was called Friday. Everybody used to play it every single week.
I think one of the weirdest prices that I'm seeing on here, you know the blogger Perez Hilton?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like the first one on the list.
Yeah, $27.27.
Huh. So
And
what
apparently-
is this?
And apparently
27.
he gets really, really good reviews. He's actually got a perfect rating.
That's
There's-
believable to me. I mean, you know, for them to like record like a 20-second like little video for somebody, give him almost $30. Fucking hey, dude. All right,
Yeah.
great.
No, the
but these
one-
people that are charging $200, $300, $500, screw you.
Yeah.
So
No.
there is
don't care
actually
who
a
rich you are.
charity line on here too, where people who are on here that donate their proceeds to charity for doing their messages.
Well, that's cool.
See,
That's a tax
the
write-off.
one I want, I want Debo. Got
tiny?
tiny Lister. He's
Tiny?
on here. $60.
Tiny Lister, no shit.
$60. I want him to dress up as the fucking president of the universe in Fifth Element.
Oh,
and I
damn
want his ass to wish me happy birthday.
You got knocked the fuck out.
That's what I, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you,
Happy
Christian.
birthday. Wet bite.
I can't believe like how many like famous mainstream people are on
So
this.
let's go around, because what if you wanted a personalized message for you, for a loved one, a mother, a father, a family member, or yourself? Like, who would you want it to be from, and what would you pay for that? Like, what's your max price before you're like, all right, it's not really that worth it? Because a lot of these, to be honest, are fucking throw you away money.
like Soulja Boy.
I've looked at some of these and I'm like, man, I wonder if I could get them to do a drop for me for fucking $20. Like the God,
I was thinking that same thing. I'm like,
Yeah, no shit.
like get the Godfather to do a drop for me and talk about, come aboard the Better on Draft train. we're pimping hoes all around the world. Yeah, like I tell you what, that time was just crazy because everyone knew every single word. Like for me, I would definitely want, and it's gonna sound so crazy, but Sir Patrick Stewart.
Oh, fucking A, right.
Oh yeah.
For my father, I would definitely spend the $500.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Just to get him to just say hello to my father and acknowledge my father as a person.
Dude, I would. So your dad a big Trekkie?
My dad is a very, very big Trekkie. He doesn't have an allegiance to a specific Trekkie. For instance, he doesn't have a DS9 or a Voyager or original series.
Every captain brings something to the table.
He watches the new stuff. He just loves Star Trek. So
right on.
He would love, Sir Patrick Stewart probably the most out of every single person to do a.
He's coming back to Star Trek, right?
I heard, yes.
Yeah, he's gonna have they're giving him a show. He's gonna be playing Captain Picard again, or he's gonna be playing Jean-Luc Picard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Matt Bush, before we go on, Matt Bush made hysterical post, and that said Ricky Williams should have cost $420.
Damn right. That's exactly what I was going for.
So, but what about you guys? Who would you love to have? Like, again, for you or for a loved one, and how much would you spend on it? Like, do you have someone?
Are we talking dead or alive?
Alive.
Okay.
Like you could go order it on Cameo right now. I should definitely call them.
I don't know
and
how
be
much.
like,
I don't know how much I'd spend, but I think for me it'd be Mark Hamill doing the Joker for myself.
Yeah.
Damn, he does a Joker so damn well.
does.
all right, that's a
That was the
really
reason
good
I
one.
played that series.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Damn, that's a good one.
He was the best Joker we've had.
He is.
was.
Yeah.
Nick, you got one?
I don't know if I want one for myself, but for my wife.
Exactly. That's the whole
I would
point.
say I would say anyone from any of the Real Housewives shows.
There's a lot of them on that
I know.
website.
So I think Tara's watching Atlanta right now.
It's a good TV show.
Yeah,
Not the Real Housewives of Atlanta, just Atlanta
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
with
Yeah,
Donald
sure.
Glover.
Are we
Oh,
positive?
yeah, it's not that at all.
I know it's not.
Yeah,
Because Atlanta's good.
Yeah.
Real Housewives
Real,
of Atlanta.
well, that just kind of gives you the idea of what kind of crap she watches.
Oh, I know what she
someone
watches.
from one of those shows.
We all have our guilty pleasures, brother.
Yeah, me too. Someone from one of those shows, and I don't know, $100, $150 at like most.
So you think your wife's only worth $100 to $150 for
All
a
right,
special gift like that?
For hold on,
Man, come on.
for a shit show like that, yeah. now, if she wanted someone from like Jersey Shore, for example, I'd be willing to pay more.
You pay more for Jersey Shore.
I would pay
Really?
Yeah, we
Talk about a shit show.
We
Yeah.
talk. Hold on. Well, wait a minute.
This shit's
Let me
embarrassing.
explain myself.
You can get Snooki for
we
$300.
talk about guilty pleasures. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't watch
I
that.
silenced the studio.
I couldn't watch that.
I can't either. And speaking as a,
They've gotten dumber. Let me
as
just put it that
Italian.
way.
What about you, Russ?
Well, funny story. Somebody actually did something similar for me for this, something like this. A buddy of mine went to the C2E2, the big comic book convention in Chicago, and met one of my favorite comic book artists and gave him his phone and said, "Hey, can you? I want to dial up my buddy Russ and." So you can just say hi to him. He's a huge fan. And so they did, and the phone rang. I'm like, "Hey, Sean, what's up?" He goes, "Yeah, hi, this is actually Frank Cho. I'm on Sean's phone, and we're here in Chicago. He just wanted me to say hi." And I'm like, "No shit, come on." I was like, "No, really, yeah, I'm Frank Cho, and I hear you're a big fan." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fucking huge fan." And I've met a lot of celebrities over the years, either through conventions or when I worked in the bar industry and stuff. So, and I don't get too tongue-tied around celebrities. But then I met him again last year at Comic-Con, and I literally I was 43, and I got tongue-tied around this guy, and I'm like, I'm a grown man. What the hell happened here? You know? But I'm such a huge fan of his work as an artist myself. I'm like, the guy's amazing. So yeah, and I reminded him of that situation, and he remembered. He goes, "Oh, you're that guy? Oh, that's cool." Other than that, so that was kind of
Move along.
Other than that, though, I'd have to say,
man.
I gotta say, Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock?
Yeah.
The Rock, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I know. Like
I mean, he played sports ball. How do you know
right,
about him?
I know. I'm not a
Because he's in movies.
Because he's in movies,
Right.
I love Dwayne Johnson. I'll see anything that guy's in. I don't care. You know.
Yeah.
Have you seen Skyscraper?
I did not see Skyscraper, but I would watch it.
I heard horrible
I heard
things
it wasn't
about it.
all that great, but I love. You know, the funny thing is I don't really like sports, but I got to say I like sports movies. Like Necessary Roughness, or
was a good movie.
Remember the Titans, Hoosiers,
Vinsanity.
what's that?
Slapshot.
Slapshot, sure.
Necessary
All these, you know,
Roughness
and for
is
some
amazing.
reason, you know, I've always enjoyed those kind of movies. Hell, Caddyshack. I mean, come on. I mean, you're really gonna consider
Yeah.
it, but
Half those movies aren't really sports movies.
no,
though.
of
You
course.
get it.
But honestly, if you've seen Ballers on HBO, it's a fucking
Great
good
show.
man.
Great
It is.
show.
Really
Yeah.
good show. And you know, like I said, I like Dwayne Johnson. He's a badass, just a really badass, cool guy, and hell of an actor. So yeah, Dwayne Johnson. What the hell? And at one point, I was a wrestling fan. I just have gotten out of it over the years.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Rob?
I think let's see. For my wife, I definitely would try to get her Bruce Willis.
Nice.
That would be a good one.
nice.
This is, you know, she's always been a big Bruce Willis fan. And I was actually thinking of another one because actually I was looking through the list and I was just thinking, just to really fuck with my older brother Brian, that I would get Bronson Pinchot, and not as bulky. I mean as Surge.
Surge? Really?
Surge,
Surge.
from
It's a
Beverly Hills
twist.
Cop.
You love it.
Yeah.
Aqua. Foley is here.
We are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Better on Draft Podcast 160. Better on Draft. We are back. The final segment of 2018.
Final segment.
Best songs about space travel.
Oh boy.
We are still here with Nerds with Alcohol. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate
Hey,
it.
thanks for having us.
It's been a freaking blast, man. You guys have been great.
Speaking of alcohol, you can get a bunch of alcohol over at Zatuna Liquor over in Rochester Hills.
Yep.
Just south of M59 on Rochester Road. Go check them out. Say hi to Jack.
What up, Jack?
And of course, they are going to be your New Year's Eve headquarters. So if you're listening to this on New Year's Eve, you don't have the booze, you go find Jack. You go get some beer, you go get some wine, some liquor, some cigars. If you want to get some cigars over there.
Apparently some attaboys.
Some attaboy. No, it's a boys.
It's a boys.
It's a boys.
It's a boys. Damn
Yeah.
it. Sorry,
You ruined the Matt Bush joke.
I always ruin Matt Bush jokes.
So for 2019, what are you guys amped for? What should someone who's nerdy tendencies, you know, obviously we have Endgame coming out, which is probably the biggest.
It's not just that. I mean, just movies in general.
Movies in general,
I mean,
yeah.
it's going to be
Captain
so.
Marvel.
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
It's going to be
Shazam.
huge.
We've got
Endgame.
Endgame.
I don't know if you just no-sold your Shazam.
Huh?
I think you just no-sold his Shazam. You're just like, yeah.
No, I'm so excited for Shazam.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Captain Marvel, Shazam, Endgame. What else? There's
Oh, there's
crap
so many.
ton.
Yeah, we went through it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
and I don't remember what all of them are, but there's so many movies coming out, along with a bunch of new
another
shows.
Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Although, and from what I understand, I haven't seen it yet, but Into the Spider-Verse
Oh, and then
is amazing.
well, and then you've got all the other ones. Like it's going to be the year of Disney because
Yeah.
I mean you've got a live action Aladdin, you've got a live action Lion King.
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story 4 is coming out. I mean, it's going to be a year of great movies.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, that's and I mean, there's some really great video games coming out right early January. We've got Kingdom Hearts 3, which is people have been anticipating for well over a decade now.
Resident Evil.
in-
I want Resident Evil.
Well, and then
Resident Evil 2 remake.
the new Far
the new remake.
Far Cry comes out
The new
in
Far
February.
Cry, which is crazy because
feel like-
the previous one is not that old.
It's not even a year
Yeah.
old.
Not even a year old.
But to say, I feel like 5 it just came out.
Yeah,
It came
did.
out in March last year.
Was it
and,
March?
Yeah, and they're already releasing the next one, which is
Damn.
actually a direct sequel
Direct sequel.
Of 5.
of 5.
Oh, interesting. I haven't played 5, but
it's New Dawn. It's basically what after the end of Far Cry 5 that this shit happens, and then all of a
It's a
sudden this is-
post-apocalyptic thing.
Yeah, and this is like 17 years later, I think, is what I'm seeing.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, definitely the movie situation. I'm really looking forward to second season of Star Trek Discovery, or Disco as they call it.
Yeah, I'm
we've
really
got
looking forward to that.
next week or this Sunday. Actually, we've got the beginning of the second season of the Orville. Which, if you are not watching the Orville and you're a Star Trek fan, you should.
Because
watching
it's not a
the
spoof.
Orville.
It is a
Love
love
letter.
letter to Star Trek.
It's amazing. God, it's just it's funny because I'm totally blanking, but there's just so many really
in the
great
video
movies
game
coming
realm, supposedly we still don't have a date, but Cyberpunk 2077 is supposed to come out.
Oh
That
my
looks
God,
amazing.
I watched that video. It was like 45
minutes of
into the
gameplay,
game.
and they're like, we don't know when it's coming out
They
yet.
still, don't exactly. Bullshit. They know exactly
Right.
when. They just don't want to tell us.
There's that. I think I'm really looking for, like, other than Resident Evil, I'm really looking forward to Last of Us Part 2.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, just watching.
Last of Us was easily one of the best, and I
was
mean,
looking at that one today. I actually haven't played that.
oh
one.
my God, it is so damn good.
For that year, that was like game of the year for me.
It's easily one of the best video games I've ever played, and it's really just a zombie variation. It's a zombie shoot 'em up variation, but the story is so good, man.
So damn good.
It's so good. Get it for your 4. You can get it for $20.
Yeah, that's why I was looking at it.
Buy it. It's one of those few games that I played it on the 3. It was one of the last games I ever played on my PS3.
Yeah.
And
I got the 4, and then I just bought it for the 4. I wanted to play it again.
Yeah, it's so good because they up converted it to the 4. It's so good.
I don't know if you guys heard of it, Dying Light 2.
Yeah, Dying Light 2.
I don't think they've announced the release date for it yet, but it was at E3. I flipped out because I love the first one.
Yeah.
And I think it's like one of the few games I see on like Steam and all these game purchase platforms that still maintains its original price or pretty close to its original price after so many years of it being released.
It's still at that
It's
high price
still
point.
that high, kind of like GTA 5. I think was up there for a while.
GTA 5 is reduced now.
Okay, is it?
But
Okay.
yeah.
And then
There was a way to get GTA 5 free like a couple weeks ago.
was there?
Really?
Yeah, for the PC.
Oh, okay.
And you had to, if I'm not mistaken, you had to get Google's live stream program. You had to get in it, and you had to stream for a certain amount of time. And at that point, you got GTA 5 for free, basically.
That's cool.
Oh, interesting.
Well, that's the thing. In GTA 5, the online for GTA 5 is still going strong. It's extremely popular. They're still adding content. They're doing new stuff.
Wow.
I mean, it's a reason why Red Dead Redemption 2 is getting an online section. You know,
Right.
that's another. I mean, that game came out in November. I haven't got it yet, but I'm super looking forward to playing it.
I'm afraid to buy it because I think it's just going to consume my life.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I like the kind of video games that take 6 months to beat. You know, I mean, because it's just.
I have friends that are playing it, and they're like, this game is so cool.
Yeah, I think I had a friend of mine who was who said it was 20 hours in. And as far as overall completion, they still hadn't even hit 10%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Crap.
Easy.
And then I think
they're saying it's going to change the way games are. Those kind of open world games are made.
So. I certainly hope so.
So we'll stay on games real quick, just so I can kind of go over we'll go back to movies and TV. But Rage 2 is coming out.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Me too.
I heard it coming out. That's what I heard.
If you guys are unaware, Toe Jam and Earl is coming out with a game in March.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
There's a
PS4,
throwback.
Xbox, Switch, and the PC. So it's going to be basically on everything.
Toe Jam.
Devil May Cry 5 is going to be coming
saw
out
the trailer.
Oh, cool.
in March. And one of the things that I'm very, very curious about to see if it actually comes out or not, and that is going to be the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, I have to look that up. I haven't heard of that one.
So it's supposedly holiday 2019.
Yeah.
We'll
Okay.
know.
So about a year.
I'm curious if there's going to be any more. I hope there is going to be more South Park Fractured Butthole DLC, because the DLC has been a lot of fun to play with.
I actually just bought that on the Steam sale.
It's such a good game.
yeah.
The original is great too, the Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth. Yeah, I have that too.
So you could tell that they realized the shit they did after their all their original launches of like South Park Racing and Dodgeball or whatever the hell they also released. Going back to movies though, there are a lot of movies that are out there that I'm excited to see, and oddly enough, a lot of them are horror movies.
Oh.
So Us is coming out.
Oh yes,
That's the new Jordan Peele movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I never thought I would.
I just saw an article saying that he's fast becoming the new Wes Craven or John Carpenter.
But he's got a really fresh take on horror. You know,
I
he's
never
going to be
thought-
doing. He's bringing back the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I never thought I would actually see a trailer that would actually make me kind of feel weird about hearing "I got 5 on it." Oh, because like that whole trailer is using it, And it starts off where it's just the song, and then when it starts to get to the creepy parts in the trailer, it starts to just kind of go into a different mode with the song, and it's just like, okay, I can I just have like 2 on it and just walk away or some shit? Because the song is like really starting to freak me out.
Along with that, I'm excited for It Part 2.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
I think the original remake, or the remake, I guess would be the proper term, not original remake. But the remake was really, really good. I think Finn Wolfstad is a really good actor. So I'm excited to see the next Stranger Things when that new season comes out next year.
Yeah, that should be 2019.
Next year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's also Pet Cemetery, which is being remade.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about
Who would have
that.
thought that they could make that movie creepier? But the trailer looks creepy.
Well, one of the things, they're adding another kid in though, and I'm like, that kid. They
as
only
far
had
as I know, it's the daughter and the son.
yeah, but they only had a son in the movie.
Yeah.
or in the book.
No, in the original movie, they had a daughter and a son.
Did they?
Yep.
I swear to God, they only had the kid.
Yeah, that movie
I
scarred
mean,
me. So I'm,
in regards to the whole book versus movie thing, and we can kind of go around and
it's
talk
actually one
about
of
it.
the few Stephen King books I've ever read. I've never really.
And it was a horrible
at
adaptation from the movie.
So in regards to book versus movie, like for me, as much as I love book, I always separate book from movie as 2 separate stories, and that the movie
a smart
takes
thing
from
to
the
do.
book.
It's a smart
The
thing to
reason
do.
for that is that one of my favorite books and favorite movies is Jurassic Park. And there is not really much about Jurassic
No.
Park, the book, that is the movie. But
The
can
book
you
was
tell me
so
the
good.
book is good and the movie is not, or the movie is good and the book is not?
That's one I can separate. A lot of the Stephen King stories I can't because I just love them so much. The books themselves, like Pet Sematary, I loved. Needful Things is one of my favorite books of all time. But the movie was so horrid, and I think it's because I love the book so much that I have such a hard time with the movie.
For what was that? Ready Player One.
Well, Ready Player One's another one. Yeah, Ready Player One is
Love that book.
which one? The
Ready Player One.
Oh, Ready Player One.
Oh, the book
and
is
and
amazing.
the movie is so
Yeah.
far off of it that I'm like,
the
The
whole
book for
book-
me, so I do a lot of audiobooks, and the book is the perpetual number 3 book that I need to read, because number 2 is always The Handmaid's Tale, and number 1 is whatever I'm reading at the moment, because I'm always just pushing those 2 back. And like there are books that have been pushed back, like American Kingpin, which is a really good movie about the black market, the online black market. And I just like books just keep getting pushed back for either podcasts or other books that I've read. And I will hammer through a book so fast. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to read a book now. I want to do something else. As much as I have the time and, especially for all the driving that I do, I just don't find the want to start into these movies. And what's great is that Handmaid's Tale is dictated vocally by Claire Danes. Which is such a good choice for that.
Sure.
I don't know who did Ready Player One, but I know Claire Danes. Did
Will
Handmaid's
Wheaton.
Tale.
Will
yeah,
Wheaton.
Will Wheaton did.
Yeah.
President Will Wheaton.
Will
Yeah.
Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will.
So
It's-
it's
and
still
he's
going to be
fantastic.
it's still going to be my perpetual number 3. Just because just trying to get through these books and go, and I actually stopped my Audible because I'm so far behind in regards to books that I want to read, and books like I've got the Aziz Ansari book that I still want to read. But the thing is that something will come up and I'll be like, oh, I really want to read this. I want to get through it. So there was one Dan Pfeiffer's book that I can't think of off the top of my head the name of it. But like Dan Pfeiffer's book, when it came out, the Liberal Redneck Manifesto from the Well Read Comedy guys, that was good. I'm trying to The World as We Know It by Dan Pfeiffer. There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was a great book. So all these books that I'm reading, I actually got, which is hysterical. Not for the fact that I grew up in a very conservative Catholic family.
Oh. I'm so
I'm right
sorry.
there with you.
And
So sorry.
my mother just got a free Audible book. And I got her to get Michelle Obama's book.
Oh.
Slowly but surely, I'm going to get her to. She to be honest, she is very, very, very like the fake fiscal conservative, where everyone's like, oh, I'm fiscal conservative, but I'm socially liberal.
Yeah.
But then when you ask them about fiscal conservativeness, they're like, oh, so you're just liberal.
Yeah.
You just don't want that title of D next to your name, do you? So, and that was me when I, like, mind you, when I was 17, 18, and I was just, young, dumb. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's just stop there.
Stop there.
Let's just stop there.
So again, you got the Spider-Man movie, Lion King. We talked about it. Everyone's favorite comedy horror, Zombieland 2 is coming out next year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I just pulled up a list here. I'm going to spotlight a couple. Glass coming out in January. The sequel to Unbreakable and sort of Split.
Right.
We got Hellboy 2, or the new Hellboy. Excuse me.
While you're talking, is there still Black Fang left?
No, I polished it off.
That's fine.
Sorry.
What about the Punk Lemonade?
There is Punk Lemonade.
Definitely.
I'll take some Punk Lemonade. Thank you very much.
It's good stuff.
I know it is.
Save a little bit for me. I'm gonna try that right now too.
Alita Battle Angel.
Pink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Alita.
really pink.
Yeah, that's been like 20,
Yeah, that got pushed back.
plus years.
Yeah, that actually got pushed back.
pushed back a couple
it
times.
was supposed to be out like a week ago.
Yeah, but now it's February.
Yeah.
And see, but I don't know, man. I'm just jazzed, man. I think it looks cool as hell.
We haven't even mentioned Star Wars yet.
Oh
Well,
yeah, next December.
Episode
Yeah.
9,
December.
yeah.
Yep.
So there's
But that's a
like
ways
two-
off.
Yeah,
you know?
that
It's a
one.
ways off.
That one is the JJ starts it. What's his name takes over.
Yeah.
And JJ finishes.
And
it.
well,
finishes it.
and completely messes up everything that JJ set up,
Right.
and then goes, "Here, JJ, you get to. Here you go. I'll
Here,
give it back to you
fix
now."
this.
Yeah,
And then somebody, actually went out and found James Earl Jones to do the Lion King.
yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
I mean,
But we got How to Train Your Dragon 3. Like I was saying earlier, we got Captain Marvel, which looks amazeballs.
I love how they have that going back to back with Captain Marvel in March
And then Shazam.
Avengers
Oh, well,
in
Avengers.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
And then
Crossing universes
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Never crosses streams.
you got we have Shazam in April as well. We had like I said, Hellboy is right there in April. Avengers Endgame.
Now,
That's
as
April's a big month,
nerds,
shall we say?
You guys aren't. I think I read something where Marvel, in regards to Disney, has access to all of the Fox owned.
Yes, now
Not
they do.
yet.
in like 6 months.
Well,
No.
that's what Feige has said. Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, is saying that they haven't started doing any development of any of the Fox properties yet,
Bullshit.
but they could within the next 6 months. He's actually said
They got thoughts.
within the first half of next year.
Yeah, they have access as of
What it
like
is, the
I believe
deal's
the
not
deal,
done.
The deal goes through like next week, I think,
Yeah, they said early January.
early January, and they will essentially have access to the entire X-Men gamut and I believe also the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Those are the Fox-owned ones. But then Disney also has access to all of the other things that Fox had too, like
Yeah.
Alien,
X-Men.
and
Well, yeah, X-Men
all
is
of
one,
the
yeah.
X-Men, all the mutants.
Yeah,
And,
mutant can be used again.
Yeah, mutant. They can use mutant now, and that's why they were pushing the Inhumans, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for a long time, or for quite a while, like specifically on Agents of Shield, and but because they couldn't use mutant, they wanted to use mutant, they couldn't use it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a shit ton, man, just a screaming shit ton of movies. You got John Wick Chapter 3. Which, holy crap! If you've seen those, they're amazing.
he needs
The
to stop
live
getting
action
dogs.
Aladdin,
Jesus.
Godzilla King of Monsters.
and that's with 11. What's her name?
Bobby
Bill-
Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Bobby
There you
Brown, yeah.
It was like
Go
Millie
Brown.
Bobby Joel,
Yeah.
Billy Joel Brown.
She makes $350,000 an episode
from Stranger Things.
from Stranger Things.
That's not surprising at
The
all.
girl is set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Got Dark Phoenix.
As long
There
as
was-
she,
you guys-
as,
you
as
guys
long
know
as she
the-
can keep it together
Yeah.
as a child actor. That's the big thing.
That's
You
the
you
tough
guys
one.
know the story of how they got her to cut her hair, right?
No.
So the story goes because they wanted her, obviously the guys who made Stranger Things, and this isn't their first rodeo. This is like their 10th rodeo, trying to get a show off the road for Stranger Things. They got Millie Bobby Brown to cut her hair because they showed her Natalie Portman from V for Vendetta. And showed her how strong and beautiful someone with short hair. Mind you, they could have went with G.I. Jane, but we'll
They
go with
coulda gone with
Natalie
that.
Yeah.
Portman.
I think V for
I
Vendetta.
think that's a better. I think that was a better
yeah,
choice.
I think that was a little bit more. It's a little bit more current.
So showing, V for Vendetta, like that's how they got her to cut her hair.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've let her grow
Very
it out. Obviously, she's
Yeah.
got a shorter haircut now.
Yeah.
Right.
But still, it's just a crazy story of being able to do it. Because I'm excited. Obviously, Stranger Things next year is coming out. I'm hoping there's more. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna see it tonight. But Black Mirror Bandersnatch came out today.
Right.
One of my
And
friends posted
I'm
on
hoping
Facebook
there's a
earlier
season
saying,
5 still.
Well, they said they knocked it out of the park with it.
Awesome. I'm excited.
They're good things.
The OA season 2 is going to be coming out next year, which is going to be great. That's what I'm excited for. And then I think all the Disney or the Marvel TV universe are all moving to Disney.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about horror movies earlier. I just, because I feel like horror movies are like on this big rebound.
Bit of an upswing right
They're
now.
on an upswing.
I
yeah.
think there's a lot of good original horror movies.
Yeah,
coming
right
out.
now there is. But now there's also a lot of, I think there's, going through this list that I just happened to find, I don't know how reliable it is, a lot of remakes, reboots, and returns of some of the older series. Like, for example, Child's Play.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Child's Play.
Yeah, they're talking about doing Nightmare on Elm Street too. That's
Nightmare,
another one.
really? They're talking
Yeah.
about that one
Yeah,
too?
yeah. The last time they tried to reboot that, it kind of failed. So
Yeah, but they're
Nightmare
talking
on
about
Elm
rebooting.
Street?
Yeah, they're
Nightmare
talking
on
about rebooting it again.
yeah.
Child's Play's got a release date.
So is that for 8 or for the remake? Because I'm seeing there's two separate things.
I've got a remake.
Okay.
No, 8. This is the 8. Sorry.
So there's like this movie's in one sentence.
why is there
Chucky
8?
takes a trip to space. That's it.
Oh,
Jason,
for God's
Jason did it.
sake.
Why not Chucky?
right.
Hey, you know who else did it? The Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was going to say they're coming out with the Leprechaun
Yeah,
movie.
Leprechaun.
They've remade it. Yeah, they remade a new Leprechaun
Yeah.
movie.
The Leprechaun went to one place he shouldn't
The
have gone.
Leprechaun looks like a very, very good, well-made horror, like a modern-day horror movie.
Yeah, I saw the
Because
trailer.
when I think of horror movies, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of what I call gore porn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like
Which
Saw.
is
You're not a Saw
So there's a Saw.
Hostel.
There's a Saw 9 apparently coming out.
You know, I saw a 4-hour cut of Saw where it was a fan-made cut of Saw of the first 5 or 6 movies put into a 4-hour movie that was set so perfect, told all 5 stories, and managed to do it in 4 hours.
Wow.
This was fan-made, founded on some random torrent site, and I don't. Sorry, a little cough. I can't tell you where it
feeling
was
okay
from.
there,
Yeah,
Ken?
just a little.
All right, just making sure.
That doesn't rhyme with corn tub, does it?
No, it was not on Corn Tub. So in regards to that, but the thing is, for me, when I want to talk about near flawless new horror movies. Obviously, I think in regards to starting with great ideas, Paranormal Activity knocked it out of the park.
Sure.
A amateur quote unquote. I mean, it was amateur, but amateur film style. So like
Sure.
a Blair Witch Project, but amateur. But I really think nothing broke it, like knocked it out of the park until It Follows came out.
Okay.
And I think It Follows was the most original, well made. There was no there was no backstory to it. You literally it just went through the progression of this person's life. And first of all, it was a horror movie based on a STD, which is hysterical in my eyes.
Right.
But have you guys seen It Follows?
No, but I know the premise.
No.
Really? You get
know the
this?
premise.
I'm not a huge horror guy.
Okay, that's fair. I'm the worst. So I get easily jumpy as much as I don't get scared. But like someone can come up behind me and like clap and I'm going to jump 10 feet in the air. Not for the fact that I'm scared. I'm like, oh, you startled. The best is when you see me play games. And back when I was, back in my days when I was a professional gamer, traveling in the country, you would see me on my computer play. And if I was not ready for someone to be shooting at me, you'd just see me jump like this. And it was so funny because obviously, first of all, people are behind me watching. My teammates are watching me play. And so they look and they see me. They never let me down for it too. But
Resident Evil was tough for you then.
so
Silent Hill.
Heart attack waiting to happen. Those games, man.
that's the thing is I never really got into horror games.
Okay.
Horror movies, yes, but horror games not so
me
much.
neither.
You should try.
Not my jam.
Yeah, you should try Until Dawn because that's like a movie, but it's
Yeah.
a game.
Yeah.
But it's pick your own story.
I'm actually looking forward to Days Gone. It's coming up. It's a,
Yeah.
it's a zombie
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
zombie
that
game.
one's been talked about for
a while.
A couple of years. I feel.
Yeah.
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 That's the drag about the game industry for me is that they'll put out like these initial like trailers and reviews and these initial gameplay things like, and then the game doesn't come out till 3 years later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're like, mother, I've been waiting for this game.
Right.
I'm watching, and it better be good. Because if it ain't,
Have you guys tried this Punk Lemonade?
That's really good.
This is dangerous. What is the ABV on that?
It's actually sessionable. It's not too bad.
6.3. Yeah.
it's about average for their.
I don't think we have the same version of sessionable.
Well, it's a sessionable for them. So, but this is one that I think is going to be really dangerous in the summer. This is actually my wife's recipe.
Yeah.
Nerds with Alcohol, where can they find you?
Well, you can find us at nerdswithalcoholshow.com. You can stream our shows there, or stream or download them. You can also find us on Facebook at Nerds with Alcohol Show on Facebook, and Drinking Nerds on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
Correct. You can download. You can get all of our shows on pretty much everywhere that you can find podcasting. Like we said before, they still let us on
Spotify,
iHeartRadio,
iTunes.
Stitcher, Google Play. All the big
All
ones.
right. So as we've been playing a little bit, we do have everyone's social media on here too. So you can find Robert at Robert00, Nick at ArcSwitch.
It's my fake ass Mixer name.
Your Mixer name?
I've given up Twitch and switched over to Mixer.
Okay. And for me, it's Ken Kondrashevsky. I'll give you a hint. It's my name.
No.
That's my Instagram. You can find me there. I take a photo every single day. That's all I do. I don't talk about anything else except taking a photo. Guys, it's the new year. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, man, it's a great time.
We appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Nick, Rob, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Let's do this again real soon.
And no matter
we'll
what
have you guys on ours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hook it
the
up.
Basement Podcast. We'll bring some heavy hitters. When you want to talk about beer that's a little high ABV, trust me, we are going. Is it your place or?
It's my place.
Do you have a bunk for him? Because he's going to need it.
I get my girlfriend to drive us.
All right. Does she Uber?
She don't. Man, she could drink all y'all under the table. That's what
shit.
my girlfriend is. She's German and it's spooky. I've seen her put down two full bottles of wine and still be like, fine.
I don't drink that much wine to know what my wine tolerance is. I'll have to try.
I'm not a wine drinker and I stay away from it. So.
Yeah, and I mean, well, you're a beer drinker. Your wife's a Fireball drinker.
She's pounding Miller Lite right now as we speak.
That too.
God.
5 hours deep.
All right. You can find us on Untapped on Bod Podcast, but you can find us everywhere else. Better on Draft, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us on betterondraft.com. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes. Rate us, love us, or hate us. I don't care. Just rate us. That just helps us a little bit.
A little bit. We could use the help too, guys.
Yeah. Go check out Nerds with Alcohol. They've got 111
yep.
episodes that you can go through. And no matter what you think of your beer, we think it's
Better on Draft.
Oh, he took it from us.
Better on Draft. Have a good night.
Happy New Year.
Merry New Year. Beef jerky time. Peace.